I will talk because there's a microphone in front of me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm very proud of the film. I have to say that. I mean, thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to see it in such a beautiful format like this. You know, it's a personal film, and it's one in which I get all the inside jokes. You know, I know it's happening, and yet I thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity. To Todd and Joelle.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. What performances and what great friends on and off set, 8 pages of dialogue a day with that kind of dialogue.
Yeah, it was one of those scripts that I was telling somebody earlier. You know, I have 2 children, so I often don't have a chance to read a script from beginning to end in one sitting, because there's always some sort of interruption. So, but for whatever reason, I kind of couldn't take my eyes off the script when I was reading it, and I finished it, and I was just immediately like, you don't get to see scripts like this often. There's a wacky best friend involved, and somebody ends up in the pool. But this script was just so beautiful. It was like theater on screen, and coming from theater, it was to be able to speak those words. It was an honor. Your turn.
I'm speechless, so maybe that's good that Jim wrote this, because I got to put his beautiful words in my mouth and play with this gentleman who gave me so much to work off of. I mean, I think the movie says a lot about being in the moment, and that's just what I did with this. Like, I was really just trying to be in the moment with Todd and with Jim's words and the beautiful place we were at.
Giving it back.
There are a few people here in the audience. I said to Josh Silfen, our editor, the director and photographer, I said, help me to make a beautiful film. And, he took those words and ran too far away for me to ever catch up. And so I thank Jay Silf. And then to Jason Mandel, my first best choice. I said, Jason, can you put a film together? He pulls out a calendar and says, yeah, when do you want to make this film? And he never stopped up until 5 minutes ago. He has not stopped.
Now he's done.
He has not stopped. Jason, thank you. Mr. Rick Sawyer, who made everything possible in ways that no one will ever know except for the family that is To Be Friends. To my parents, they were there, the script supervisor, they were there the whole time. It's good to be loved. And to my brother Aaron, I appreciate, the help, the support, the encouragement. He's the one in the very beginning. He said, Aaron, all right, he said, Jim, you just got to go out there and shoot something. And so I appreciate it.
Please.
I was hoping
Absolutely.
you guys would talk first.
Okay,
Anything
we
you
did.
want to- But you guys, we want to know what questions you have about the film. If anyone has any questions, how about here?
Yeah. So, terrific job. Thank you very much. And it's not only it was a thoughtful film, a very sensitive film, and a film I would definitely not just go see again, but go listen to again. So thank you for that. And so then there's a question on both sides. How do you write such a intimate dialogue, and especially for you, capturing the sensitivity of the female role? And then secondly, for you guys, how do you memorize and play out that dialogue? How hard is
Very
that?
easy.
Let me say that there's a theme in this that's called Surfing Dreams and Chaos, and it's the original music by Hassan Spivak. She's here with us tonight.
Stand up, son. Stand up.
She's a wonderful musician. ilovestrings.com tells you a story of adventure, challenge, and overcoming challenges. Thank you for your comments. Beautiful. Thank you for saying that you could see it again, that you could listen to it again. When I say kind of allow it to wash over you, I mean, I found new things tonight that I appreciated about it. This was born of laying too many hours in the fetal position, not being able to get out of bed on a particular day, you know, day after day after day, and saying life is about making a choice. Either I make the stand now or I don't. Pull something out of yourself and put it in the public domain and let it ride. See what happens. Riding in the middle of the night, tears, love, hate, and not just trying to figure out and saying, let's try something. Thank you.
And to the question about how do you, like, I don't know the question, something about the words. It was one of those things where again, there is...
The question was, how do you memorize all
How do you
that?
memorize all that stuff? It's like my aunts always ask that question. How do you memorize all those lines? You know, it was one of those things where he wrote such music, like the dialogue was so musical, and it was at times Shakespearean, and so it was kind of, it was like just sort of memorizing a poem often, and we would shoot for 12 hours, and then we would go home, and she and I would work on the next day's 8 pages, and then we would work with Hassan so that we could fake looking like we knew how to play instruments, and then we would sleep for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we would get up the next day and do it again. And it was kind of just, and I also, you know, often coming from an improv background, you often, in other scripts and television and stuff, you take a lot of liberties with the words when you improvise and this, but this was like, I'm not gonna make it better. The words were, there's nothing I'm gonna add to this, so it was just a matter of learning them and getting out of their way. And just saying, anything to add to that?
That was it.
We've got more questions.
Oh, please.
If that's okay. Down here? Yes, please.
My name is David Garber. I'm the Spring filmmaker and director. And I have a kind of a two-part question, meaning that we shot the interviews with you outside. The location is an actor. You might film the location is a place. It's a bunch of an actor. And the first part of the question was a challenge. Did you shoot it in order, first of all? Was it shot in order? Art film was not shot in order, right?
Not sure.
Was it a challenge from day to day, from the location changing its feel? And as far as your emotional characters, it's kind of both parts of the question.
What was
This was an independent film in every sense of the word. We had limitation upon limitation, so unfortunately shooting in order was not an option. And so that really was another burden placed upon the actors, how to sort of attempt to do that. And then we had to recut the film and recut the film. The version we see here is the 1300th version of the film that we finally put together. And it's all a tribute to the actors and the ability for them to keep it together emotionally.
Well, I also think, I mean, I can speak for myself and perhaps Joelle. We both have a strong television background, and so we're kind of used to shooting 8 pages a day and shooting out of sequence. So that's the job.
But did the location tell you anything different about the scene when you were shooting on the scene?
Well, we'd have to speak up.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, yeah, it was very windy, so you had to speak a lot louder than I normally speak. But we lived there in that amazing place. And I mean, as soon as I drove up and got out of the car, I was like, oh my gosh. I really do feel like it played another character in the film. This is where she chose to take them, and it's just, I mean, you saw it. It's mind blowing. It's everything that, you know, encompasses beauty, and if you just stop for a moment and take a breath, I'm speechless, actually. It was just amazing.
There was also moments where we would be shivering and hate to say action, and we'd have to go, okay, we're doing it. And then we'd say cut, and we'd be like,
Or we'd be driving up late trying to get to the barn and we couldn't get the cow out of the road.
We have a question right here.
I noticed that you shot on the red. Was that a budgetary or was that a creative decision? And if it was a creative decision, how was it compared to shooting 35?
We had we came at the red camera because of budget, but our producer sort of eliminated it as an issue. We had an out-of-the-box red camera system. I made choices by finding people that did the homework and figured out how to do it. We were very early on in the red process. It worked out for us perfectly, spectacularly. These images, I think, this is the best I've seen.
Is that is that 2K or 4K?
Josh, we did 2K? 4K, yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable. We had people running discs or drives back and forth the whole time, but you know what? I am a huge fan of the red system. It worked for us.
Yeah.
That was Josh who said we have to do that.
It also allowed us to kind of keep going, so
Yeah.
that you weren't running out of mags and having to switch over a lot. It freed us up a lot, because we could just keep going and start over and do it again, do it again.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Please.
I just like to commend you on the film because it's a masterpiece. Because pushing and pulling your emotion, acting is about pushing and pulling your emotions. And what your actors and your crew, you're knowing the right locations to enhance this story, which is very intimate, very moving. So it pulls your emotions as we sit here in the audience, back and forth, and you're glued to the screen, you're caught up with the characters all the way through. So I think you deserve a good round of applause, and hopefully see you at the Oscars.
Okay.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, my name is Arthur Wright. I'm a freshman film student over at Emerson. So this
Welcome, film students.
kind of awesome just to have you right here and see this amazing piece. And I thought the pace you set in the film was immaculate. At the beginning, you had those shots, and you didn't cut. You just kept those shots just flowing. And I liked it just like with this nice cleansing breath from seeing all the cut, 3-second cuts to seeing you doing these long, amazing shots where it's just like the driving. How did you, how did you decide how long to take the shot? Like how to take that extra step, or just being like, well, we could cut to a closer, no, just let it drive all the way through this road, all the way across the screen. It was beautiful, it was amazing, and I just how did you make that decision to just let it flow?
Thank you. It was a conscious choice to trust the audience at every turn. I said there's an audience out there that can be trusted to hold on to that. They can see the beauty, they can feel the moment, those shots. I mean, it's pulling them up out of the hard drive and saying, I can't take anything away from that shot. It has to be there. I don't know how it works. It will find a way to work. Thank you. I mean, it's about just trying to figure out and trust it. And I felt them too, immediately. We have a 6-minute clip in there. You know what I mean? I'm proud of that, I gotta be honest with you. And I never would have cut that, because to me it was about the performances were so strong, I'm not gonna do that to the actors.